Okay guys, now the last issue that we're going to go over with the Gilded Age is the political issues. So we're going to go over corruption during the Gilded Age. Now, before we get into corruption, we're going to get into how it became corrupted. First, you have overcrowding of the cities and congestion, which is when too many people are together. You have crowded streets. The streets aren't big enough. People, the way they're passing by each other. You're going to have horses, carriages, and again, a lot of people in the streets, so they become very crowded. Not only that, the factories, there's no regulation at the time, so they are producing a lot of pollution, which is not safe for the people as well. And ultimately, this will create unsanitary conditions, polluted water, which got a lot of people sick, and the spread of disease. I mean, it was just absolutely disgusting. There was no sewage system, or it was always going to be not filtered or unfiltered. And disease was able to spread fast. So I'll be going over that in class and how the tenements are going to not help with this situation. Okay, and remember, tenements are your apartment buildings that are close to each other, right? Crowded apartment buildings. Those are tenements. And then of course you're going to have social tensions. When you see the word social, that means people, and tensions is when they kind of don't like each other, so they're going to increase. The rich will blame it on the poor will blame it on the rich, so on and so forth. Okay, we also went over nativism before. Again, that's going to go in to par with social tensions. Now, political machines. What political machines are corrupt city governments. Okay, corrupt city governments. And basically what they would do is, as the immigrants were getting off the boats, they would tell them, you know what, you need a job, you need a place to stay, vote for me, and you have that. So they became extremely corrupt. Now, leaders of these governments were political bosses, or just bosses. Okay, political bosses. What they did is they provided jobs in exchange for votes, and that's known as patronage, or the patron system. We're going to have that still enacted to this day. Laredo has been under this system of patronage for a very, very long time. Again, you vote me into office, I'll get you a job when I get into office, right? And that's part of corruption. They also took illegal profits or bribes, and I'll be going a little bit more into detail with that. But a bribe is whenever you get something that is illegal, when you take money in return for a favor. Okay, that's illegal, that's a bribe. Now, one of the biggest political bosses is going to be William Boss Tweed, alright? And he was the leader of Tammany Hall in New York City, okay? Political machine, Tammany Hall in New York City. The political boss was William Boss Tweed, one of the most corrupt political bosses at the time. Now, the new immigrants, 1880 to 1920, they're coming in from Southern and Eastern Europe. We're used to having them come in from the northern part and the western part. Now they're going to be from Italy and the Balkan region, and then Ukraine and the eastern part of Europe. So those are going to be your new immigrants. And ultimately they come into the United States and live in these ethnic ghettos. Ethnic is going to be based off of their race, and a ghetto is just, these areas where you have so many people, it's not sanitary. So they become ethnic ghettos. And then civil service. This is the beginning of the progressive movement where you try to fix the problems of the Gilded Age. Now, civil service means that jobs should go to the most qualified person. Before, it was based on who you know, and now it's based on who's most qualified. So basically, you would do an interview, take a test, and the person at the end of the day who was the most qualified would get the job. That's civil service. And then ultimately, the Pendleton Civil Service Act was passed, and this was an appointment to federal jobs through a merit system. Again, who would be the best person for the job after interviews, after a test where it was fair for everybody, who would get the job. So again, you're trying to get away from that corruption that we've known during the Gilded Age, and you're trying to progress and change it for the better and make it fair instead of who you know. Okay? So we are already at the end of the Gilded Age, and we're moving forward into the progressive era. If you have any questions, you let me know. Thanks.